Thunder, thunder, thundercats. Ho! I have the power. Here's a preview of the shelf, guys. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Captain Foley. This is Shelf by Shelf, chapter 18 to be specific. And you just saw some of the stuff on the shelf. There's a few weird things there. It'll be an interesting shelf to take a look at. But anyway, if you want a more detailed look so you can see if there's something that actually interests you, we're going to take a quick look at the shelf right now again. And we'll see what we got up there. So let's get to it. Let's take a look at that shelf. All right, so here is the shelf we're going to be looking at today. Got some interesting things on it. Some weird deviations. We'll get into it, but anyway, here it is. So let's get into actually looking at it now. Let's go. Starting off, of course, with the Sword of Omens from the Thundercats. This is a, you can see there, it says Thundercats on the stand. This is from Factory Entertainment, which makes some really impressive stuff. And I forget where or when I got this, but there you see the Sword of Omens with the eye, and on the other side, of course, you've got the Thundercats symbol. Thunder, 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 Thundercats, ho! Feel the magic, hear the roar, Thundercats are loose. Whoosh. Anyway, yeah, great sword. I really love Thundercats. They have one of the best intro songs in the 80s for a cartoon. Really fantastic. They really need to do, well, they have done a few remakes, but they really need to do a live action Thundercats movie at some point. So anyway, Thundercats, it's Sword of Omens. It's awesome. But there was another sword there too. So let's take a look at that one. So the other one, dun, 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 dun. He-Man's Power Sword. Don't know if this is by the same company. I believe it is. This is a 1/6 scale, I believe. And yeah, just a really great looking sword. Another sword where the bearer holds it above his head and, I have the power. Zaps his cat into a big battle cat, and, you know, becomes He-Man. So yeah. These are just essentially letter openers. I mean, it is a replica, but it's 1/6 scale, so I need a 1/6 scale He-Man to go with it. I believe the Thundercats one is also 1/6 scale. So anyway, yeah, really cool. I do have both of these as well in full-size form, which we'll get to when I do my sword collection at some point. But yeah, there it is. It's got a nice weight to it as well. So, and I do like the kind of gold bronzy handle that it has as well. So I'm getting fingerprints all over it. I'm gonna have to wipe it down. But anyway, on to the other stuff on the shelf. And resting on top of all the other books was this one, Ready Player One. This, of course, has been made into a movie and is a really fun movie, especially in 3D. I love it in 3D. This is a movie that I got, or not a movie, a book that I got in one of the loot crates or nerd blocks, I can't remember, but there's Richard Klein, or Ernest Klein, sorry, the author, with his DeLorean. And enchanting Willy Wonka meets the Matrix. So I gotta say, I have not read the book yet. I do have it here, obviously, but haven't read it yet. I really enjoy the movie, though. And like I said, in 3D, mwah. I love 3D movies. I don't know if you guys know that, but I have a huge 3D movie collection. And 3D movies and VR are kind of my thing. Really enjoy it. So anyway, yes, Ready Player One is what's on top. But there are more things on the shelf, so let's go. Yeah, I'm actually not sure which side of the frame I should be on for best lighting here, but we'll try this out. So first off, we've got the Encyclopedia of Horror. I think this side's probably better. With Frankie on the cover there, Mr. Frankenstein, sir. And on the back, that really creepy image. So this is literally what it says it is. It is an encyclopedia of horror. Talking about horror movies and or books over the years. This is an older book though, maybe early 80s, so it's not 100% up to date, but it's kind of got the history of the Hammer horror movies and things like that in here. So there's Kirk versus the Rock, the original Rock and the old ones. But yeah, edited by Richard Davis, forward by Peter Cushing. So, do we look alike? Maybe. Anyway. All right, next up. Total 180 for some reason. But Spice Girls, free poster inside, girl power. Now, some people might be thinking, oh, that's obviously Sylvia's book. And continue to think that. There they are. This is a book I got back in the Spice Girl craze days. Baby Spice, my absolute all-time favorite. Sweetheart Emma, as she is. Followed by Ginger Spice. And then Scary Spice. And then Posh Spice. And then Sporty Spice. Probably. But yeah. So yeah, I do have a few Spice Girls things. If you've watched other videos of my Shelf by Shelf series, you will see a few more Spice Girl things. But yeah, I think they were pretty awesome for what they were back in the day. And I absolutely just adore Baby Spice. So Spice World Girls, girl power, woohoo! And yes, of course, I have Spice World as well. I mean, who wouldn't? Next up, Robotech Visual Archive, the Macross Saga. Now, I'm not a big Robotech fan or, Battletech or any of that stuff, but I saw this book. My buddy Pete works at a place called Neo Tokyo, which sells a lot of anime stuff, obviously, and model kits and stuff. And so this came in. And I absolutely love it. I adore it. Something about it. Like, I'm not a big fan, but it's got a synopsis of the episodes, all the characters. You get concept art and breakdowns, visual breakdowns, cutaways of all of the gear. And it's a book I had to have for some reason, even though I am not, as I said, a real Macross fan per se. But something about the cutaways, the feel of the book, the look of the book, the smell of a new book. A bit of a book addict, unfortunately. So yeah, there are other ones as well that I might consider getting, but I saw this and I just couldn't not get it for some reason. It's an oddity in my collection, but at the same time not, because it's a nice hardcover. It's got cutaway and the mechiness of it. I don't know. I think it's an anomaly. The urge that compelled me to get this book, I still don't understand to this day. So next up, we got Doors Open, Huron East, celebrating the heritage of some sites in Seaforth, Brussels, and their neighborhoods. This is areas around me, of course. And this is just local history of the area, different buildings and stories, which I have no idea where or when I got this, but I am interested in history and stuff. So Knox Presbyterian Church, interesting. So yeah, Spiral, Doors Open. I mean, kind of odd. Like I said, there's some odd stuff on this shelf. This shelf shifts gears pretty quickly, because now we're the complete official guide to Assassin's Creed 2. I'm a huge history fan, as I just said. Assassin's Creed, the games go into a lot of history, and they're quite fun and compelling games as well. Interesting gameplay and fight mechanics. So yeah, and the first and second game I thought were fantastic, and this is, of course, just like my GTA game guide that I showed in a previous video. It's just all the secrets, how to get to all the locations, do all the things, and all the maps and everything, so you can complete all the side quests and stuff. So the complete official guide to Assassin's Creed 2. Oh, there's something in the back here. What is this? Oh, it's just a map. Yeah, it's just a map. That's Enzio, I believe. But it's got all of the maps from across the game. So, for quick reference. Next up, we're going to one from my childhood, Return of the Jedi, the storybook based on the movie. Vader with the Imperial Guards. And yeah, this is one I've had since I was a kid. And it's just a retelling of Return of the Jedi with all of the nice pictures. It's a picture-y, storybooky thing. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, Return of the Jedi storybook. Ooh, G-Force Animated, the official Battle of the Planets guidebook. I love Battle of the Planets, otherwise known as Gachimon in Japan, which is more adult-themed content. When they brought it to North America, it became Battle of the Planets. They heavily edited a lot of the episodes and added new characters like Seven Zark 7 and stuff like that to make it more kid-friendly, because they were capitalizing on the success of Star Wars at the time. But yeah, love Battle of the Planets. Grew up watching this. Obviously, I was so enthralled with it that I wanted to change my name to Mark, which was the leader. At least that's his name in Battle of the Planets, the North American version. But I wanted to change my name to Mark, and I asked my parents, and they said no. So yeah, this just goes through everything. Talking about the show, I believe there's complete episode synopsis, as well as you saw, art and history of the characters, bringing it to North America, as well as a bunch of other stuff. It's a guidebook. I want to show you one of my favorite things, which I saw on there for just a brief second. But the Phoenix, one of my favorite sci-fi ships of all time. Absolutely love this thing. I do have an official metal Japanese Phoenix in the other room, which I've done a video on, which I might link at the end of this video. I don't know, but yeah, me and my brothers used to make like paper airplanes and like fold them all up and then unfold them and then draw on with like pencil crayons, colored pencils, the Phoenix on it, and then we would throw them around and hope they last long. Because, you know, paper airplanes, after a while, the nose gets all crumpled and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I used to love that. My brother Steve was fantastic at drawing the drawing, period. And he would draw like G-Force cartoons. He had a like spiral notebook full of illustrations that he had done. So next up, this is also one I've had forever, Return of the Jedi official collector's edition. It's quite used as it's grown up with me, but there's some art on the back. Return of the Jedi, $3.95. What year is this? 1983. So, ooh, something fell out. That'll be interesting to see. All right, so yeah, it's just a lot of the making of the movie, talking about the production, where they filmed, the blue screens, stuff like that. And this fell out. This was what used to be a puffy sticker. Remember those puffy stickers? That's what this was. There you see Vader arriving with the Lambda class shuttle. So that was in here. I'm just going to throw it back in there. But yeah, I always found this piece of art like fascinating when I was drawing. I don't know why. Just the detail on it. And of course, I'm a huge fan of R2-D2, so this is one of my favorites as well. All right. Ian Livingston, Casket of Souls. Solve the ultimate mystery and crush the demonic forces that threatens the kingdom of Armuria. Don't know where I got this, but I've had this for absolute ever as well. Has a lot of really fantastic... Oh, get to that in a second. Has a lot of really fantastic art in it, though. I think that's one of the reasons I probably grabbed it. But I believe it's like a choose your own adventure thing. I think. Not 100% sure. But yeah, really fantastic, cool artwork. So there's that. Now what fell out of that is this. TV Week, The Big Comfy Couch. Now, I was a little too old for The Big Comfy Couch when it was on, but I'll tell you what, something. I did have a huge crush on Lynette the Clown. Allison, her name Allison Sims? Allison. Anyway, she's from this area, and she's gone to conventions here. But I had a huge crush on her, so I guess I saved it for that. The YTV show wants kids to catch up, to get up off the couch. And this is basically just, it's like a TV guide. So this is kind of a cool piece of history. Beacon Herald, it's the Stratford newspaper that my mom worked for most of her career. So it's from the Beacon Herald, April 29th, 1994 to May 6th, 1994. So yeah, it'd be cool to go through this and kind of look at the shows and the movies that are on. So yeah, I'm a sucker for Lynette the Clown. Is that weird? Probably. Next up, we got Vampire Storyteller's Screen, 2nd edition. This is for Vampire the Masquerade, the role-playing game, and which I collected all the books for, which we're going to get into in a second, but this is like the Game Master's chart of things. I got into it, never actually played the game, ever. Got it more for the lore and stuff that was in the books. So, as I have with a lot of my role-playing games, if I'm honest. So, anyway, this is a nice segue into the next set of books. But, yeah, Storyteller Screen for Vampire the Masquerade. Do you dare join me? Are you Ventrue? What's your clan? Let's go take a look. Okay, so as I said, this next section is going to be pretty much all Vampire the Masquerade. There are more books after these, but this is the big chunk of the middle stuff, so I'll kind of go over it fairly quickly. We got Vampire the Dark Ages, which is a supplement that came later, but I put it first in the thing because it's technically the older. I just love these books, the nice marble look, and the art in these as well is fantastic. A lot of great vampire lore and great vampire things to pick at and use in your own storytelling if you so choose. And we got Vampire the Masquerade. The Rose. 2nd edition. There's the Wilted Rose. Yeah, this goes through all your clans. I was Ventrue, just so you know, but there are many other clans. You know, if you're not into role-playing games, which it's odd. I feel like I am, but I'm not, because I never really played them. I collect the source material because even for Star Trek stuff, I get the source material just for the information in them, and I never really played the game. So this is the Vampire's Player's Guide, and a really great image on the front. They did have a lot of fantastic artwork on these. A source book for Vampires the Masquerade. This just goes through and tells you everything you need to know about the clans and history of vampires. Yeah. The Vampire Storyteller's Screen, 2nd edition. So this is part of that screen that we had. Contacts and Victims. And it gives you people you can use as NPCs, essentially. They're victims of the vampires or contacts that they have to go speak to. Gives you a brief description of each and how you can use them in your campaign. Then we got the Succubus Club. The passion of life, the passion of death. Sorry for the glare, by the way, guys, but... So yeah, this is a nightclub that is specific in-game, where you can get information and do other club-related things. Sorry, you gotta dance. But, yeah. So there's that. And we got the Player's Guide, with not so great artwork on the front. And that's one of my favorite images from Vampire the Masquerade, though. I used to draw that all the time, like recreate it. But the Player's Guide just basically teaches you how to play properly and get the most out of your gameplay, I guess. Again, it's been so long since I've read any of these. I'm not even sure I really want these anymore. This is something I could probably part with if anybody's interested. A World of Darkness. And just talking about different locations around the world where vampires exist and do their thing. So different city maps from Europe and things like that. There's Egypt one there, China. It just goes into the history of vampires in different cultures and different places around the globe. Stay. Good book. All right. The Storyteller's Handbook. Again, just to help the DM, I guess, the story master, the dragon master, to craft stories, story ideas in here, as well as just tools to use to make more compelling stories, including characters and scenarios. So comment down below if any of you were ever into Vampire the Masquerade. I was a huge vampire fan when I was younger, and as you guys may or may not know, if you have been following me for a while, you would know that I did, in fact, start writing a vampire novel. So then we get the specific clan books. This is the Machiavellian, the Machiavian. Great picture there. But these guys are a little bit insane, and talks about their clan, all the rules for their clan, characteristics, and some character sheets in here as well, so you can become these characters or use them in your campaign. But as you can see, they're all a little unhinged. So, and I was a Ventrue, as I said, but there's this is the Gangrel clan book. Yes, there was a wrestler named Gangrel as well. But again, just goes through all the clan traits, all the things that make them who they are, and what their clan is all about, what defines them, and again, throwing in a lot of characters that you can use as your character or as just a character in your... I didn't get all the clan books. There's like 6 clans, I think. This is the last one I got here. Clan book Bruja. And like I said, it was Clan Ventrue, which is more aristocratic, kind of upscale vampires. Oh, felt like there was something in there for a second. But yeah, same type deal with that one. Then we get Book of the Damned. A beast I am, lest a beast I become. The Children of Cain. Yeah, this just talks again about the history of the vampires, how they became what they are, how the clans differentiated themselves. I believe that's what this one is. But yeah, the history of vampires, starting with Cain, the first vampire. Yes, Cain and Abel Cain. All right, this is Vampire Diaries, The Embrace. This is basically a diary from a vampire. My diary. It's got a lock on it. And it's one of those things got like a page in here talking about the diary. And this is a vampire's descent into madness, essentially. This is, of course, their diary, their journal, and all their sketches and their fall from grace. And as you can see, as it goes on, things get a little bit more chaotic. And it's part of a storytelling campaign based around this, I believe. So, diary. And then this fell out of it. Nothing lives forever, and a shattered ankh there. Except love. With all my heart, Danya. So, a card that the lady gave him, or whatever. So yeah, I thought these were cool back in the 90s. When I was younger, and not so cool, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah. That is it for the Vampire the Masquerade stuff. Now, let's move on to the last few things on the shelf. And by the last few things, I literally mean the last few things, because there's like 3 more books left. But they're larger books. So we got the Ultimate Encyclopedia of Science Fiction, the definitive illustrated guide. And there on the back, you got Discovery from 2001. You got Akira. You got a bug, which I should know what that's from, but I don't. Anyway, so this has a slipcover dust jacket that is the same as what we see here. And yeah, well, actually, let's just take a look at what year this is from, because this is probably super outdated now. There's a lot more science fiction that's been out since this. So, printed and bound in Dubai, 1996. So yeah, it is science fiction, history of science fiction. Look at, there's Spock right away with Superman. But history of science fiction from the first books and novels and stories that were science fiction to television series, movies, both amazing movies and B movies. The creators, there's George Lucas, of course. Yeah, it's just a comprehensive guide of, look at that, Star Trek and Star Wars of science fiction. So, ultimate science fiction. It's ultimate encyclopedia of science fiction. Yeah, TV 2000, the sci-fi files, history, heroes and villains, propaganda, glossary. The glossary has, you know, warp drive, cyberspace, sonic screwdriver. So it's got you covered for everything you need to know. So, and of course, great cover. So anyway, yeah. Let me know if you guys know what this is from. It's not Herbie the Love Bug. I feel like I should know, and I'm going to get in trouble for not knowing. Anyway, next. So next up, in the same vein, we've got the Sci-Fi Chronicles. And look, that's not the Enterprise. That's an Ascension class ship from this Ascension class Dreadnought. It's got the third nacelle. It's got the wider struts. Sci-Fi Chronicles. This is not a sticker. It's printed to look like a sticker, and that annoys the shit out of me. But saw this and like, are they trying to go for the Enterprise? Because that's not the Enterprise at all. Thought that was interesting. Anyway, Sci-Fi Chronicles. This is the same kind of thing. Chronological order reveals the development of the genre from the very first sci-fi elements, books, stories, TV shows, movies, on up. And these are all the graphs. Alien invasion, apocalyptic fiction, alternate worlds, cyberpunk, but all the way down to steampunk, superhero fiction, techno thriller, time travel. So this goes through it all. I have a few things bookmarked, not bookmarked, but like little sticky thingies. Yeah, this is interesting because I got this. That's Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch in a production of Frankenstein. Why is that interesting to me, do you ask? Well, because Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch both play Sherlock Holmes. One, Johnny Lee Miller on a show called Elementary, and Benedict Cumberbatch on Sherlock. And just to have them both being on stage together in a production of Frankenstein, I thought was quite interesting. So had to point that out for my future self that would forget such things. So, yeah. And as I said, this is a more comprehensive one than the encyclopedia, because look at the thickness of this, production photos from things. But it starts with the novels and then works its way up as to just everything science fiction is in here up to a certain point, obviously. That's the problem with books. But this goes into great detail about, why is that upside down? The Death Star is upside down. My goodness. But yeah, lots of great images from shows and movies, and just talking about the production timelines and when things happened and what was based on what, and you know, so lots of really great images and fun things to look at and read about in this one. And it's just funny that it's a dreadnought on the front and the Death Star was upside down. There's probably other errors in there that, but again, hefty volume or hefty weight to it. Let's see what year this was so we know how outdated it is. Like, look at that. It's a xenomorph on the inside cover. This is 2014. So not so bad. But yeah, Chapter 1, 1818 to 1925, early science fiction, the birth of the genre. Chapter 2, 1920s to 1950s, the days of pulp. Chapter 3, 1950 to 1970, the era of the atom, the marvels and perils of science. Chapter 4, 1970 to 1990, dark futures, apocalypse and the war in space. Chapter 5, 1990 to present, the adventure continues, modern science fiction. And there's a famous spaceships section, the science fiction chronology, genre definitions, contributors, index, and picture credits. Famous starships, 536. Ooh, I turned right to it. So it's basically like a silhouette call out for famous ships. So the Nostromo, with the Falcon there, Firefly or Serenity. I don't know if they're all to scale. I don't think they would be. Next page, Star Destroyer, Voyager, Enterprise Refit, TOS Enterprise, D7, the Derridex. So anyway, yes. Hefty book. Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers. And anyway, so lots of cool stuff in that one. And heavy. Next up is the last thing on the shelf, and that is my Marteau Presents Highlander, Certificate of Authenticity. The producers of Highlander hereby bestow upon you the exclusive right to possess this Connor's sword. Which is, I think that is for this one specifically, which I do have. However, there's no serial number, there's no date of sale on this. So I don't know why I have this or where I got this from. I do have this sword over here. Mine is, well, I've got a few. I've got the one from the Highlander TV series. I've got the one from the Highlander movie, which is this one. But mine's signed by Christopher Lambert. It's not Lambert, but everybody says Lambert. It's Lambert because he's French. But I don't think it's called the Connor sword. So I'm confused by this. It's going to need research that I'm not going to do right now. So anyway, that's what that is. That's the last thing that is there. And yeah. So that's it for that shelf. Let's move on to, well, I'll give you a preview for the next shelf that is going to be in this series, which is rather chaotic by the looks of things. So we'll give you a preview of that, and let's see what we're going to be looking at next. So we journey down to this shelf here. Yes, that does say Flesh Gordon. What could that be? I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. A few things on this shelf that are going to be interesting to take a look at. So that's next time on Shelf by Shelf. Tune in if you dare. Well, there you have it, guys. A preview for next time. Some interesting stuff for sure. A little bit more chaotic and all over the place, but that's kind of more interesting sometimes, instead of just drilling down on like Transformers or drilling down on vampire stuff. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. Hopefully there's something you saw there that you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video or any part of it, or just appreciate the time and effort I put into these, please hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And of course, make sure you subscribe to this channel, which is the Captain Foley personal channel, as well as the Trekyards channel, where we cover everything Star Trek. And we know the difference between an Ascension class dreadnought and a refit Enterprise that should be on the front of your book. So check us out over there, or check out another video by me over here. Until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley, signing off. Bye, everybody.